Hi guys, today we're gonna talk about Active Directory replication, and as you can see here on this scenario, I already have a domain controller. I have two machines. One is Denver and the second one is Brussels. So you can see Brussels is just a machine, it's not a domain controller yet, and Denver is the domain controller with the fixed IP 192.168.0.100. And to make this, guys, I use GNS3, and this is the topology that I built on this to be able to do that. So this is the Denver machine with this IP address, and this is the Brussels machine. So I did a bit Cisco, so with the routing, and that helps to be able to do this. So it's gonna be something like that in the reality. So this is what we did. So okay, I'm gonna go back, and you can see my properties, area network. So this is the IP address that I have from the router. Okay, and if you go to the Brussels machine, we can also check the settings there. Okay, so you see it is also the IP address as we can see it on the topology. And for the DNS, I just took the IP address of the Denver machine, which is 192.168.0.100. So if I don't do this, I'm not be able to contact the domain when I want to join for the replication. So notice, guys, so that this is really important. Okay, good. So let's try to ping if we can reach the 192. Okay, so I'm gonna say ping 192.168.0.100. Okay, so we have connectivity for this machine. Okay, good. So I'm gonna get to my machine, then the Denver machine, and then we're gonna do some couple of stuff. Okay, I'm gonna close this, and what I need to do now, I'm gonna open regedit, and I'm gonna go to local machine, system, control current set, services, and here I'm gonna locate the NTDS, that one. So I expand it and click on diagnostic, and here you will see the knowledge consensus checker. So I double click on it, and the value data, I'm gonna change it on free. It's okay, and I'm gonna reboot machine. Right. Okay, so we just reboot, so I'm gonna log in again. Okay, and okay, so now I'm gonna click on start, to administrative tools, and I'm here, I'm gonna select Active Directory sites and services. Okay, we need to prepare some stuff before we start with the configuration. So when we open Active Directory sites and services, then we expand sites, and here on sites we're gonna create a new site. But before to do that, first, though, this is one site, and it's the default site. When you install a domain controller, it's created by default, so it is the default name. If you want, we can create another one, but here I'm just gonna rename it and say Denver. Okay, so I rename it to Denver, and now we need to create a site for Brussels. So to do that, we're gonna right click on sites and hit on new site, and here I'm gonna enter the name Brussels. And here you see the OK button is gray out, so we need to click here default site link and then click on OK, and here we click on OK again. So we just create new site for Brussels. Okay, so the next step that we need to do is to create a subnet for Brussels. Let's go back to the Brussels machine, and then we can check the IP range. So you see here that it's 192.16.0.100, and this range, the subnet is 172.16.0.0. so we need to create that here. So we're just gonna click on subnet, right click, new subnet, and here we entered it 172.16.0.0/16, and then here we need to select for which side it is. So it's for Brussels, so we select Brussels and then click on OK. Good. So now we create a subnet for Brussels. Okay, good. So I can close it for a moment. Okay, so now we're gonna click on start, open a command prompt, and here we're gonna type NTTS RTL. Okay, and then we hit on enter, and here we're gonna type act inst NTDS and press on enter, and then IFM enter, and then here I'm gonna type create sysvol full, and here I'm gonna specify where I want the sysvol to be created. So I put C/database. So it's gonna be create sysvol full C:\database, and then we press on enter. Okay. So when it's done, we will see that on our C drive that we have folder database which contain the Active Directory data. Okay, good. So I can close this right now, and I'm gonna open my C drive. Okay, so here we see that we have the database folder. Good, so that's nice. And now what we need to do, we need to share this. So I'm going to right click, select the properties, sharing, share. I'm going to add everyone. Reprise. Yeah, it doesn't matter because this is just a tutorial, so we don't need to specify who can have access or not. Okay, share, done, and close. Okay, we did that. So now we're gonna go to the browser's machine, and then here what I'm gonna do first, I'm gonna click on start computer, go to my C drive and create there a folder. I'm gonna call it data. Okay, good. So I click on start again, and then I'm gonna browse the Denver server by doing backslash the IP address of the server, backslash, and then you see I have it here, the database. It's what I need. So and I have it here. So I will select everything and copy it to the data folder that I created. So I paste it here. Good. So this is gonna take a while. Okay, good. Okay, we copy everything on the data, so that's fine. So now we can close this and close this again too. Okay, and now we can process to install, to make this browser server a domain controller. So to do that, I'm gonna click on start, and here I will type DC promo and then gonna enter. It's taking a while, so let's be patient. Okay, it's good. Okay, so here I'm gonna just check use advanced mods installation, and then click on next. Next again. Existing forest, we don't need to create a new domain in a forest, so we select existing forest and then click on next. And here I'm going to specify my domain controller, pape.local, and here we click on set to use administrator credentials. Okay, good. Okay, so after this we can just click on next. Okay, good. So at the beginning I was saying that we need to put the Denver server, his IP address as a DNS for this browser machine, otherwise we would have a problem to be able to read here. So that was really interesting. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, we're just gonna click on next. Okay, good. So now we are here. So it's Brussels for a Brussels machine. So we leave it by default. Click on next. Okay, good. So here we're gonna click on next again. Okay, so we click on yes, and here that's really something really interesting. We're not gonna click on next. So you remember here, I'm gonna open it again, the data folders. So here we have the Active Directories data. So and I put it on the data folder. We need to the location must be the data path. So here what you need to do is to click here, replicate data from media at the following location, and then hit on browse, and we go on our C drive, we see the data folder, and we click on OK. So now the location will be this. So then we can click on next. Okay, you see denver.pape.local. So here we just click on next. So next, and then we enter the password again, then we click on next. Okay, and we hit on next again, and then here I will check this reboot on completion, and then after the installation the machine gonna reboot automatically. Okay. Okay, after the reboot, I will log on again. You see, the Brussels is now part of the domain puppy at / administrator. I'm gonna use administrator password. Okay. Okay guys, so now you see that Brussels is part of the domain, so it's domain controller now, brussels.puppet.local, and you see the domain name puppet.local. Good, so that's good things now. Okay, I'm gonna open Active Directory, and I'm gonna open Active Directory users and computers. And here we see that we have this, and it's what we got before on this machine, because I created before the tutorial this user, and we see that it's replicating here. But we're gonna create some couple of users, and then we can test it that it's working. Okay, so I'm gonna go on I'm gonna create here a new user. I'm gonna call it Tom Hills. Tom okay, set the password. Okay, finish. So on the Brussels, I create the new user Tom. We have got a new hire, and it's Tom Hills. Okay, so we have Tom, and if I go to the Denver, we do not have Tom there. And what we need to set up now is the replication. Okay, there are settings that we need to change, because by default it's 180 minutes for the replication, but we're gonna set it to 15 minutes. Okay, so if we come here on inter-site transport, and I will select IP, and here by default you see default site IP site link, and the cost is 100, and the replication interval is 180 minutes. We can change this by saying rename Denver to Brussels. Okay, I changed that, and then we double click on it, and we see that the site in this link, there are two machines, Denver and Brussels, and the cost is 100, and it replicates every 180 minutes. We're gonna make it on 15 minutes. Okay, and here we can say also change the schedule. If we click there, we can see here, like if I did this, so there is no replication available, and here there is replication available. But for example, if I select here, for example on Wednesday, and I click here, so there is on the blank part, we will not have any replication this time. So you can say, okay, on Sunday I don't want some replication to occur, or on Friday or times. It's up to you to decide what you want. Okay, So but I'm just gonna leave it like that and click on apply, click on OK. Good. Okay, so now we have we create the user term on the Brussels, and we do not have it on Denver, and after 15 minutes we should get it here, but now till now we do not have it. But what we can do, we can also force the replication. That's possible. Okay, so to force that, I'm gonna span the Denver site, servers, Denver, NTDS, and you see here from server Brussels, from site Brussels. Okay, so if I right click on here and hit on replicate now and then on OK, if I go back to my Active Directory and do a refresh, great, I have Tom McHill's here, so that's good news. So Tom is there, so we force the replication, otherwise we need to wait 15 minutes and then we're gonna have Tom here. I'm gonna create another user here, I'm gonna call it Santi Guzman. Santi. Okay, now on the Denver, in Denver I create Santi Guzman, and in Brussels, if you go in on Active Directory, we don't have a Santi yet. So after 15 minutes we will have Santi, but here I'm gonna force the replication also, and then we can see that. So administrative tools, Active Directory site and services, click on sites and Brussels. We are in Brussels. Okay, servers, Brussels, NTDS, from server Denver, from site Denver. So if I right click, replicate now, hit on OK, I will go back to Active Directory to refresh. Santi Guzman is there, so that's pretty good, it's working. If Santi Guzman changes his password, it's gonna replicate in Brussels, it's gonna replicate in Denver. If you have more sites, also it's gonna replicate everywhere. So this is good. We can also create a group, for example, group called ITB. Okay, just in case we have ITB in Brussels and in Denver, we can see, okay, do we have ITB? No, not yet. After 15 minutes we can have ITB, but I'm gonna say here from Brussels to force the replication again and click on now, replicate now. Okay, let's go back to Active Directory. Okay, and refresh, we have the security group IDB. It's perfect. So guys, I hope that this video will help some people for learning, and I was very honored to help for this, and thanks for the next time.